What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Planet Xbox Podcast, powered by Weapon Wheel Podcast, Weapon Wheel Patreon. I am your host, Best Spot Kid Smooth, and I got my co-host, ILP, Lord Gaming Addict. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's usually Lord Addict, not Lord Gaming Addict. And you just making my name longer for no reason. But yeah, doing pretty good. We got that where we missed last week. I feel like at this point we're having the show every other week. I don't know. I feel like at this point we might as well make it every other week.
Yeah, we've could have gone a couple times. But hey, it wasn't wasted time. It wasn't being lazy. Avowed came out. It was, in my opinion.
Are we talking about that today?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're doing another what we did yesterday on Weapon Wheel.
I mean, everybody, entitled to their opinion.
That's not the energy I was getting yesterday.
No, my energy. I mean, saying my energy hasn't changed. I mean, I just think, I do think you said some, I would say slightly outlandish things in regards to Avowed.
At least I'm getting the slightly. We'll get to that. Let's do the Avowed thing last.
Okay. Xbox is doing some AI stuff. Everybody's still talking about cells, and I know Monster Hunter reviews are out. Like a Dragon pirate game reviews are out. What else are we missing? Like, I don't know. There's a lot been going on, but as far as like gaming. And I'm sorry, I like popped in as like a sour head right before going live. I'm gonna show you, what do you call these things? Your warhead, yeah. It's kind of good after the sour. After the sour wears off, is really good. That thing don't mess with your acid reflux.
Huh? I don't eat a lot of them.
Okay. So
yeah, I tend to like sour stuff. It's like one of those things where I know I'm gonna be hurting. So, but it's like, is it worth the pain?
Is it?
Occasionally, like, it's not a lot either. So you take that how you will.
Okay, so the Xbox Independent Showcase, the IDEA Xbox Showcase happened today on I think IGN hosted it. Did you get to watch it?
I saw like highlights.
Yeah, I saw that they're coming out with another the Savage Planet game, but it's called Revenge of the Savage Planet.
So that's a different game?
I believe so. I believe it's a follow. I don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel, but I saw. I mean, it's shared. You could tell it's in a series because of the name, but I don't think it's like a DLC. I think it's just a sequel.
Isn't that coming to Game Pass?
Yeah, day one, May 8th, I think.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. May 8th. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
We tried playing that game. You remember
the first one, yeah.
The original?
Yeah.
You caved.
Yeah. Too complicated.
Too complicated.
Yes. Way too complicated for what it was trying to do. And I think at that time, I'm trying to think what else game that was like coming out that I felt like, or that was out that was almost similar. I forget. I think I forgot what it was, but that's the game you had to clean up the planet, right? Like you had to clean up. Yeah.
Well, it had like kind of survival aspects to it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I played it, I couldn't really tell you exactly.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I mean, I know. Oh my God, what did we? Everything's escaping me. Because I feel like every day there's something
there.
Yeah, I feel like every day there's something like that people are.
I mean, there's the
arguing.
Yosha thing we could talk about. There's Avowed.
The what?
There's the AI thing.
You said the what?
The
Yosha?
shoe interview that we could talk about.
The shoe hate. I mean, he said things. The biggest thing is that pretty much they gave him an ultimatum. Be the head of Indies or be unemployed. Is that sound about right?
Yeah, about that. That's exactly what happened. I don't know exactly what like the long term, because obviously some of this could be exaggerated a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, he's not. He hasn't got a replacement job yet, right?
No, where do you think he should go?
I think he should go to Xbox.
Oh, Xbox.
Yeah. I don't know if he has like a non-compete clause, but is it really non a compete clause if they're not really competing?
I guess to me, I want him to go wherever he like. I would like for him to go to Xbox, but I don't know if like they're realistically looking for that. So
Yeah. I think he would be definitely a good a decent asset to have. But his interviews has been really dope. It's been very insightful. No, he talking about like what happened with like the Last of Us factions and why that's gotten like canceled um and I mean I think he had a take also on like the Xbox third party thing. Do you recall anything he said there?
not really. Yeah, I mean he didn't really want to make definite statements either
Yeah.
about anything going on with anything. So he's clearly trying to keep his options in the industry open.
Yeah.
If you talk bad about companies and stuff, even not talking bad about Xbox, you can arguably ruin your chance with other stuff as well. So I feel him on that. I do feel that the industry, especially Xbox, they could use him. But I see Xbox differently now. Like normally I would say he would be very good for you know doing relations in the eastern part of the world.
Yeah.
But now it's like, is that even a goal for them? Do they even care anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're not trying to build a platform over there, do they care to sell games over there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But I got a list of games, right? Some of these are familiar of the games that were announced. Yeah, damn, they're not so they went over a lot of games.
I saw Moonlighters 2 was on that list.
Yeah, so here we go. Here we go.
I've been simping for that game for years.
Why though?
I love that game.
All right, so at the top of the list, we got
Moonlighters is lit.
Revenge of the Savage Planet. So that's the follow up. We got Jump Ship, which looks like a space sort of shooter. It's a co-op FPS where 4 players attempt to leap across the universe by selecting from a variety of handcrafted missions. So on, so on. They also got this game called Echo Weaver. This is like the third Weaver related game that has been like announced or released since like South of Midnight was announced, bro. But it looks like it's some like sort of like 2D. You play as a Weaver. Moonlighters 2, The Endless Vault, which is up your alley. What is Moonlighters, dude? Like what? I never played the first one.
So Moonlighters is like an old school dungeon crawler, kind of like the old Zeldas,
Okay.
the top-down Zeldas. And you go into dungeons, you go as far as you can into the dungeons. You get stuff in the dungeons to sell at your shop, and you use that money to upgrade your gear, buy more stuff around the town, a variety of things. So, yeah, and then you just keep going in and out of the dungeon, getting deeper into the dungeon, getting better stuff to sell, and then you bring that money back, and you're able bring that stuff back, and then you have to like set up your shop at your house, and you when you go into like start the day, people will come in, people will try to steal shit from you, and you have to stop them. It's a very interesting game, and like they have really unique bosses, great soundtrack. Like I really love the first one.
Okay. Cool. And it's coming out relatively soon.
2025. They didn't give a date though.
And then we got this game called Blueprints. I'm not really feeling the art style. Oh, just to throw this at you, the Moonlighters 2 is actually surprisingly a Xbox
Game Pass?
exclusive. No, it's just an exclusive.
It's not coming out for PlayStation?
At least not day and date, because this release, all these games also include PlayStation in the announcements. Moonlighters 2 doesn't. It just says PC and Xbox Series X and S and Game Pass.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like for example, this Blueprints game is an Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Game Pass, and it comes out next month. Well, not next month, in April. There's this game called Outbound. If I'm looking at this correctly, I should probably watch the trailer, but never mind. Let me read the description. It's like, if, like me, you've been itching to get back into an orange camper van ever since your family's beloved Volkswagen dramatically burst into flames in the middle of the road somewhere in the 90s, developer Square Glade Games, Outbound should be a pure bliss. It's a game of open world wilderness, moving and survival. Nope. Sorry, I don't like survival games. But
I'm not the biggest fan of survival games. That's probably one of the genres that I don't mess with the most. Like, Grounded was a decent, like, casual one, but I still didn't really like that game as much.
yeah. Hardling. This is coming. It says Hardling is the latest from Far Lone Cells developer Okamotive. It's a stirring and beautiful journey into the mountains and beyond that sees players shepherding or herding, I guess, mysterious creatures across the strikingly picturesque landscape of sweeping peaks, fog, shrouded forests, and more. That's a puzzle game. Wax heads.
You got an issue with puzzle games now?
I don't have an issue with them, but
I like the escape room puzzle games. Have you ever played those?
when you say the escape room,
I have like low key an obsession with escape room content in general. I love the movies.
Yeah.
I've never been to an actual escape room though. Maybe I should fix that.
I took my
Go to an
wife
actual
one to
escape
one.
room.
I think, was it last year for her birthday, or not last year, the year before that? We did. We
I'm
failed.
actually interested. How did they have to tell you? Like, how does that work?
You run out of time.
So you have like 30 minutes or something?
And I think the room was like maybe an hour or so, and you advance, you keep advancing, like, and until you get to the end. But the thing is, I forget where we got caught up at. We couldn't understand the riddle.
See, that's where they'll get me pretty bad is riddles.
Yeah,
I've never been a good riddle person. Like, so that I would need someone there to balance out my riddle bullshit.
So here's the one I think you will like. It's called the Lonesome Guild, and it's a single player action RPG full of heart, battles, and bonds that change everything. It's the work of developer Tiny Bull Studios and follows protagonist Ghost, and their ragtag team, Tiny Bull Studios. I'm trying to see what game they make before, but it looks like it looks like it's on the cusp of that game that came out. What was that game that came out? Oh my god, you play as that.
They
little
made
fox.
Omen exiting or in Blind.
Let me watch the trailer here.
This kind of looks like what's that game that Xbox just released?
When you play it as a fox.
No, the game that people were mad because it was supposed to come out on Xbox and it went early access first.
I know what you're talking about. A freaking Towerborn. Yeah. Now,
I think it looks like it.
Okay. I can see why you say that. Okay.
A little bit.
Buckshot Roulette.
Oh, that kind of shocked me. That game's an out of this world type of game.
Okay, what do you mean?
And I'm playing it. You know what that game's about, don't you?
No.
It's Russian roulette.
Oh. Wow. They're allowed to release a game like that?
It's really big on PC right now. I played it at PAX, and I was looking at that game I was like, man, I understand putting it on the platform, but I was a little shocked that they 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 put it on like a showcase. Like it's literally a 4-player game about who's gonna shoot themselves first.
Oh my god, yeah, and it's coming to Game Pass. That's actually, oh wow, okay,
I'm playing it. I'm playing it.
yeah, it's an exclusive. Um, Hotel Barcelona, and this is one by Suda51. I'm familiar with their name. But I'm not a fan of the graphic art style. But I ain't gonna lie, it does look cool. Never mind. No, I think I like it. It's just a mixture of that like cartoonish, retro, Saturday morning like cartoon, but it pops. You can tell it's like a 2D slash 3D. Yeah, no, actually, this thing pops, man. No, this looks kind of good. It was supposed to come out last year. I'm just watching the trailer of it, but Hotel Barcelona coming to 2025.
Wasn't that already added a bit before?
It was. Balatro's coming to Game Pass. So that
Balatra?
Yeah.
Is that already there? I think I already had. We already have it.
I think we have it. I just never bothered.
Yeah, they sent me a review code for it.
Yeah, I don't
I'm bad. I'm bad at it. Like I'm generally bad at it. I don't think I could play that game. I'm generally bad at it.
Balatro. Yeah, so there's this game also called Rock Beasts. I think they're saying it's a story-driven role-playing management game. So I don't like to manage crap in video games. It's just like another job. So
I like it.
Miss me with that, but story driven, so I guess you're managing a band, but all the
I probably won't like that.
The singers are they're like horses and shit, rabbits, so they're beasts. Okay, I get it. Ratatan, this is a they said it's a spiritual successor to Sony Japan Studios' beloved PlayStation portable rhythm adventure Patapon. I've never heard of it. Okay. Tempopo. This looks like a child's game. Voodoo. That's what? It looks good. It's Tiny Monk's Tales Voodoo. It absolutely adorable and already sold based on the fact. No, never mind. I'm reading somebody's opinion. It's a 3D puzzle game. So it looks like it's in the realm of not Tiny Ken, but I think there was this game that came out, I want to say, where you play as like oh no, this is just a graphically stunning like toy puzzler sim. Looks good, but it's like it's a puzzle game. Tanuki, okay. Descenders next. I think this is the follow up. Descenders was that like snowboarding game.
Oh yeah. So there's like scooters or something in it too. Like
yeah, there's they got a couple things coming out, and it's actually coming out on April 9th. Wait a minute.
The Descenders. Assassin's Creed at that point.
I'm bugging. The Descenders was the bike game, and so this time, I remember that one developer. He was very approachable, and he was like he always talked about how good his game was doing on that like Xbox and whatnot. But yeah, it looks like they're adding more stuff. So is this a follow up game or is this like an update to the existing game?
I don't know.
No, it says, yeah, I think it's just but it comes out on Game Pass on April 9th. Okay. Tron. So, but this clearly is a smaller game. It comes out June 17th. It looks like,
I'm not a big Tron person.
But you know who is making it? if I'm not
Who?
mistaken, Bethel Games. You know Mike Bethel? He did his claim to fame was Thomas Was Alone. Remember that?
No, not even a little
You
bit.
don't remember that? That was like during like Xbox One, PS4 generator when indies were like cooking on the scene. Thomas Was Alone. It was about like he had this obscure game. He made a couple games after that that were decent. I interviewed him when I used to do interview devs a lot. But if this is who Bethel Games, it makes a lot of sense. If he's doing it, Tron Catalyst, I would be interested. This is coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, and PC on the 17th of June. 33 Immortals was shown again. Now, I missed the beta on PC or on actually I missed the beta on PC and
I
console.
played it a couple times.
What'd you think? Or are you able to talk about it?
I think I could talk about it now. I actually got paid to play it too, but we won't go into that one. But
Okay.
um, I think that might be like the next big indie game. Like I think that might get on the Hades level.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know because there's always like factors into everything.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I will say is it does what it does very well.
Okay. And then after that, they had Liza P. Overture, which we saw at the State of Play, right? That's the prequel DLC that they're. I still got to beat the base game of Liza P. I got stuck in an area. I got stuck, so I wasn't able to. And I feel bad because I hate being outside of the zeitgeist of the talking points, but I got stuck and I really couldn't recover. Then I think it was a relatively good game. One of the better Souls games. Better than a lot of the games from software make just from performance and story telling aspect. They did a good job with that, but I can't. I'm not looking forward to the DLC because I can't even get through the base game. And I have to like train myself to play those games again. But yeah, no, that was the showcase. A lot of Game Pass drops. Xbox has a lot going on for Game Pass this year. And obviously we know what they're doing from a first party perspective. So let's talk about Avowed. It came out. No reviews are out. I lost a bet to Black Bond. I paid him his the games that he wanted. It scored at 80. It's performing, I guess, decently on Steam's. Been averaging about 17K players, but it's in the top 10 in sales on Steam. It's been there since it's been available. I checked the Game Pass and the Xbox Store app. It's in the top 3 for most played, popular on Game Pass, and I think in the top 6 as best selling on the Xbox store front on both PC and the console. So I think it's performing relatively well. A lot of people are trying to point out its flaws. A lot of people are like laughing at it. So it's only at like 20 under 20K or whatever, stuff like that. But I think it's performing very well. I had a great time with that game. I'm still playing. I'm on a second playthrough, playing exclusively as a wizard, and just making completely opposite decisions. Just trying to open up some other story paths just to see what happens and whatnot. But truly, truly enjoying the game. I think my first playthrough was 70 hours, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It did have a couple of things here and there in my first playthrough that threw me off a little bit. A couple bugs here and there that crept its way up. But overall, man, I think it's solid work from Obsidian. They nailed things. I love the way the game looks visually. I love the combat and the gameplay. I love that it has a great deal of traversing and platforming from a Western RPG. I love the character development and the casting of characters that's in this game. I love how balanced it is, and to me, in my opinion, it's a perfect RPG RPG for, or what I would call like an introductory RPG for like newcomers of like the genre. I think this is like one of those. This is peak content management. It's not bloat. None of the game has no type of bloat. You can choose to do all the side stuff, or you can play the game straight through. And I think it's a well timed game, and they offer a lot. It's like this good what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like this good it's like this I can't think of the word, but where the game it's a small game, but they make it feel like it's a lot bigger than what it really is. But it's a whole lot of fun, and that's the thing is I'm having a lot of fun with the game. I'm indifferent about the review scores, and I think some of the takes that I've seen on this game veer often to the extreme side for some reason. But no, I think it's dope, man. I think they did a good job with this one. I'm looking forward to Outer Worlds 2 now. They did a good job.
All right. It's not that I disagree with what you're saying. I agree with everything you're saying. It's just you're talking from the perspective of someone that doesn't normally play these games, and I'm talking from the perspective that lives and breathes these type of games. I came from the origins of the old Fallout games and Morrowind and Oblivion, and when I found out that Obsidian, which I argue has surpassed of Bethesda in a lot of aspects, I thought we was gonna get like their version of it, their hardcore version. Like I don't mind you putting more of a casual spin on it, but to me, like putting a casual spin on something is spitting in the people's face that's gotten you to where you're at, because that's not what we want. Like to me, if you want to put these casual mechanics in the game, give us the opportunity to turn them off, like or have them on by default, or at the beginning they tell you how do you want to play this game, because like I wanted more of a hardcore game and I didn't get that. And maybe and to me expecting that from a studio that's given that to me over and over again isn't having unrealistic expectations. It's my expectations for the studio because that's what I'm used to.
What do you feel needed to be optional? I don't understand.
Like you said that they put a lot of they casualize a lot of stuff to make it more of an entry for people. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but I didn't mean that in like a bad way. I just feel like it was. I like the fact that the game doesn't lock you into this like thing. I didn't feel like I was making a mistake by picking a build or starting with the build. I felt like that was done very well, and I think honestly more games should adapt that. I think I understand you saying that it's not as hardcore and it ventures away from some of the core aspects you expect to be in some of these RPG games. I do feel like they built a awesome foundation and the starting point so that if they were to do an Avowed sequel, hopefully they do, that they can literally go a little bit more hardcore and introduce those things. And I just hope that all the other systems still work if they were able to do that. They open it up a little bit more, make you be able to interact with other NPCs and like wildlife that aren't enemy AI and whatnot, and be able to steal and have a reputation system, stuff like that. I can understand.
See, but the thing is what I'm saying is what we wanted is essentially what you got, just more toppings, more pizza sauce. Like we're used to a more in-depth dialogue system where you make a certain decision, it changes the story drastically. And what I got, I didn't get that. Now, I understand where you're saying, oh, they did have tough decisions, and they did, but it didn't really affect anything. Like I played the game twice and I chose the exact opposite. And where things change, yes. Did anything change drastically? No.
Okay.
Now it's your turn.
No, I said okay. I think I can't see where the thing is. I've made some decisions. I'm still playing through on my second turn, so I got to see I'm purposely essentially breaking. I don't want to say breaking the game, but I made decisions that went against a decision I would typically make. But I already know how the game plays out with the original choices. I got to see it to believe it to see that there nothing drastically changes.
I didn't see anything, and I played as a mage. Now some of the dialogue definitely changed, and there are little things that you can do to make things easier.
Yeah.
But as far as like the overall story, I
Mhm.
didn't see a huge drastic change in that. I felt like it was going to be the same thing no matter what you picked. And that's the biggest issue, that like you have a lot of people that came from that roots. They wanted those type of experiences, and that's what we're used to getting with Obsidian. Besides, you know, maybe South Park Stick of Truth, almost all their games had cost and decision. The games that I played, the Outer Worlds did. It's like I said in Fallout New Vegas. If your speech was high enough, you didn't even have to have like the last boss could have literally just been you. You just told him no, and if your speech was high enough, he would back off. There wouldn't be a fight, and things like that. Like that's why I feel like ever since Baldur's Gate 3 happened, we're going to continue to have this, because Baldur's Gate 3 and a lot of people, and I can't, I wouldn't say it, but I can understand a lot of people saying Baldur's Gate 3 is the best RPG ever made. And, I see some of the endings. When you get a chance, go look at some of the endings that you could have in Baldur's Gate, because it's wild. Like it's wild. Like you could be an asshole to the point where you're making your people sacrifice themselves. Like where literally you're pretty much saying you are just pawns for me to use. And I feel like the companions by themselves was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. The only person I felt like was fleshed out in any way, shape, or form was Kai. That's it. The rest I did not feel was fleshed out, like they were added at the last minute, like they were NPCs that they gave abilities to at the very last minute and let them be companions.
No, I disagree. Kai, I think Kai's the cap out because he's the first person you meet. His story's a little deep. He has a rainbow story, by the way. As far as like, I feel like Giada, it was a strong character, and her background was
I feel like
a
hers
bit traumatizing.
Decent, but
yeah,
I couldn't even tell you what Marcus's
Marius,
was.
Marius, his situation was also pretty interesting. I think he was a very well developed character.
Okay, and I get that, but can you tell me the reasoning why they're helping you? Is there any reasoning is there any benefit to them? Is there any reason why they feel like they need to help you go around the living lane?
It's like
what
quid
was their
pro. It's a
reasoning
quid
behind
pro. Because the thing is, they all the places you had to go, each of them were from or had ties to each of those locations, and they all had like a side story connected to those locations.
But it was kind of the same thing. Every time you went to a new area, they say, "Oh, I haven't been here in forever, and I think we have issues." But did you not see the similarities between every region almost with every person? I mean, what's her name?
Yeah, they all were. They were all running away from something, right? So,
and I feel you on that.
Kai was a coward who left his lover, like in his and he was injured, and he never wanted to show his face again. Marius, the land he's from, which is I guess one of the toughest places there, he had a. Damn, would I be spoiling it by doing that? Yeah, let me stop. Obviously, they all was running from something, and they all had to go back and essentially face the stuff that they were running from, and you had a connection to that by the pretty much the god that was in your
fine
air.
Doing that once, but in my opinion, they overdid it. It was like, to me, there needed to be more. Like I understood Javon, like I liked her like parent thing, but it's just like I never felt like I cared. Like I never felt like their stories intertwined with mine. Like I never felt like I gave two shits about any of them. Like and it didn't matter how much I pushed them. You massacre a whole town. Kai just like, okay, he get mad right there in the moment. but then 10 minutes later he acting like it never happened. Like, there was a time in BioWare with Dragon Age where if you made the wrong decision in the Mage Academy, 2 of your people just turned on you instantly. Like, those are the type of games I'm used to playing. Like, where your cause and effects will alter severely what goes on around you. Like, for instance, in Fable 2, there was a time where, it might have been Fable 1, I can't remember. You were getting tortured, and you could either allow yourself to get tortured more, which would destroy your body when you're out and about and people would look at you different, to save a little child, or you could let the little child go hungry or get killed or something to stop the torture. So either way was messed up. Those are the type of decisions that make these type of games better, because they put you in situations that there is no good side of winning. And then a lot of the times what they'll do is they'll have a good side, but you have to do something before you get into that dialogue, or have some knowledge before you get into that dialogue, or have done another side quest to give you a third option, where none of that happens. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I just think that I don't think that was all that necessary. You know what I mean? Without over bloating the game.
This is where I come at you again. I don't tell you how sports games should be played. I don't tell you how sports games should be made. I don't care, because I don't play that much. Like, you are a tourist in these RPG streets. Who are you to tell me how RPGs should be made when you have less experience playing them?
Here's the thing. I don't think my experience is all that less. I've played a great deal of RPGs. I played some long ones. I played some short ones. I played some fleshed out ones.
Let's name some.
Name all the RPGs that I've played.
And let's name some, not all, just some.
Okay. Starfield.
Okay.
Outer Worlds.
So we're up to 2.
Avowed.
3.
I played. Would you count? I would count the RPG versions of Assassin's Creed, because that's Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla.
I would probably give you Odyssey. I don't know. I feel like that is an RPG, but it's not RPG at the same time.
It's an RPG, as every RPG.
I think I have like a natural unbiased, because I don't like the new way they went with the franchise. But how many of those did you beat?
I beat all the ones that I named so far.
Okay, so continue.
As far as I'm trying to think of Western,
and I don't feel that the Assassin's Creed is the similar vibe, because I'm going with that like Bethesda style game where the stories, factions, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess we could give you Assassin's Creed, but I personally
but Assassin's Creed did have factions.
Not to the degree I'm saying. They had like set factions, because you join factions and get upset that you join factions with other factions.
Yeah.
Who?
No, Assassin's Creed had that.
Who?
I have to go back. I don't remember but the thing is, you
just made a claim and you can't tell me one of them?
No, because I have to go back to.
So you got Templars, you got Assassins.
No,
and that's about it.
Nah, no. In the Odyssey, they have Odyssey and Valhalla, I believe, had like factions that you kind of had to like cater to, and if you lean towards one way, you kind of just ruin your shit with the others. But no, I've now you're gonna make me pull up I gotta pull up my Xbox app. Would you count Horizon Zero Dawn or no?
No, that's not an RPG.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll give you
I know
that.
people love to count it, but I would not count it as one.
All right. Okay. Games. Damn. All right. Oh. Damn. Okay, let me go through this list. All right, I already said Avowed, I already said Starfield, I said Outer Worlds, I said Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know if we consider Assassin's Creed Origins. I would say Dragon Age Veilguard. I didn't beat Dragon Age Veilguard, but no, I played it.
Yeah, I'll give you Velgar. I'll give you Velgar because even though I feel like Velgar had similar issues that Avowed had, I would say that would be one that I would consider.
Okay, and another would be shit. What is this? What is this? Would you count is the Ascent an RPG? I believe that's an RPG.
Isn't that top-down shooter thing? I mean, it might technically be one, but like I'm talking about like Cyberpunk.
That is like a Cyberpunk.
Elder Scrolls.
No, Cyberpunk. No, I didn't do that. I played it. I just couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through an Elder Scrolls game.
So you haven't beat one Elder Scrolls game, not one.
No, played them. I just didn't get through any of them.
Did you beat any Fallout game?
Nah.
Did you play The Witchers?
I played The Witcher 3. I didn't beat it.
Did you beat The Witcher 3? I didn't beat it either, so I don't. Cyberpunk. I need to go. Like.
No, I didn't beat the Cyberpunk.
My point with this is, I just had different expectations going into the Avowed. I thought there was going to be, because I'm used to Obsidian giving me those options because they have always had a fantastic writing team.
Mm-hmm. But like, I didn't find anything wrong with the writing though. I thought the writing was pretty good with Avowed. That's one of my favorite parts.
I feel like if we go into this is going to go south very fast because I cannot believe you just said that.
That the writing?
There was no writing. There was nothing wrong with the writing.
No, nothing wrong with the writing. I think it was well executed for the time that it was taking place in, the world that was taking place in, the humor.
See, I want to pick that apart a little bit. I want to go at that a little bit, but it's spoilers, and I'm not going to like do that on here. But I'm very concerned that you just said that.
Really? Why?
Yes.
I like okay. I'm not. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only. No, the only one that thinks the story is pretty good or the writing is pretty good.
Like, the story's good.
So how can you have a good story with not good writing?
So explain to me how they have choices in a game that the choices don't really matter or anything. You don't see that as writing. You don't see the writing in the companions where you'll do something that is tremendous, and I think you can agree. Some of these companions, what you do in these big decisions affect them drastically. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain to me how it don't matter what you do, these people will not leave you to damn near the end of the game.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, because you don't lose.
There's no consequences for anything.
I got you. Yeah, but I feel like they put it together very well, though, when they do that, because it's not like, oh, nothing happened. It's just that they find a way to rope in to make forgiveness come, easier. You know what I mean? It's so I understand, like, you wanted to see, like, hey, I want to do something that's totally gonna, piss off Kai, right? And maybe he doesn't want to join the party because he's upset, or you can't add him to the party because you got him so upset. Like, I can understand. I can understand that, but again, that's being like overly technical. Everybody in that game, everybody in the game has a purpose. Now, technically, they have a purpose, but your character can also, like, if depending on how you make that person, they have access to the powers that some of your companions have. So I can understand that. So you really
all
don't.
Right, let's go over a couple of this. Did you feel like the companions are useful when you're fighting?
Yes. Absolutely. I use my companions a lot.
So you never felt like they were underwhelming one time in this game?
Underwhelming as in what, though? It depends.
Like they were effective fighting.
They were effective fighting. I found... So the people...
Did you play on easy or something?
No, I played on normal.
Man, I don't know, Smooth.
Earlier in the game, before I got the problem is I struggled with the game up until I got...
see Kai swing his sword 5 or 6 times in a row and not connect with any damn thing.
See, no, I've seen him, like, there's been times...
I was telling them to do something, they were kind of useless. It got to the point. What was What was the best companions? Let's go there. What was the best companion?
Well, I like companions that can heal. So my best companion, to me, in my opinion, was Giada. And
Okay, what was the other one that you would prefer?
well, the ones I used the most was Giada and Yatsley.
Okay, why Yachtley?
Because Yatsley had her range of moves where I found were more useful in crowd controlling.
So what ability did you use for Yasuke the most?
It was the ability where she shoots out these multiple balls that explode on contact, and then she had this other one that kind of like she sent like a beam that hit like a wide area, which hit multiple people at once. So I would use her for attacks while using Giada as a healer buff or a shield buff while that's taking place. So before
you used one of your people for strictly healing and use the other person for AoE attacks.
Yeah.
You don't see an issue in that?
No, because prior to getting Giada and Yasli, I had to you get Kai and you get Marius, right? Kai, I felt like his movesets were limited because I can only call him. The only thing I can really do with him is to step into a fight and shoot, right? And then he could leap and do like a crowd control move. Marius I used again early to hold enemies down. Now right now I'm playing differently because some of the moves that I would use my companions for I have access to myself because the mage ability, the wizard ability. But Marius, what I would do is I would always have him hold down like an enemy to hold him in place with the strangle. I think it's called Tanglefoot or whatever move. And I would
That's a good move.
I would spam that, you know what I mean?
Okay, but once again, you're using abilities that are AoE, and you're using healing abilities and buffing abilities because them as a pure attacking unit is useless.
No, because no, it's not that it's
used. Your favorite abilities.
I told you my favorite abilities, but I didn't say
all. You told me it was all buffs and nerfs to them.
But to me too. The thing is that the reason why
my point is that the reason you're picking these companions' abilities, you're choosing the ones that make them less effective in battle because they are not effective in battle.
Yeah, but I'm not. I think that that's not why. The problem is when I was playing again my first playthrough, I didn't want to spend all my points in health, and in most RPG type games, the first thing I buff up is health. I didn't want to do that because you don't get a lot of XP. Like when you get it's like you get like one at a time. So what I did was like, all right, I want to put all my points into like strength and melee and stuff like that, and so I don't have to use up all my potions like in the middle of a boss fight. I can just have Giada literally. I can max out her healing abilities, and every time she heals me, it's she'll fill me up, or she'll give me the regeneration effect as long as it's active. So it wasn't but that was by like choice though. That's just because the thing is, I want to be the one fighting, doing the damage. I don't like, you know what I mean? I use the other people come in to do like finishes, touches, or like to interrupt the battle just to make the fight more dynamic. But at the end of the day, I kind of want to do most of the combat. And that's how I just play all RBs. I do most of the combat.
Maybe that's the reason that you didn't have an issue with their combat, because you started using them the way that I started using them at the end earlier than I did. Because I'm not joking, man. Like, especially Kai, I felt like that man was useless. Like, he didn't do nothing. I put all my points on healing. I put all my points on buffing. And I put all my points on slowing them down. Because what's her name had a slow time down ability. And then I would accelerate myself. And I would hit him like 80 times before he could move again.
Yeah, there was this move you told me about that I didn't get literally until like the end of the game. Or maybe I just unlocked it too late. Where I guess the hands come out and grab people or whatever, and
yeah, you get that at the end of the game almost.
Yeah, I mean that would have been a lot useful a lot earlier in the game. a lot earlier in the game.
Broken though. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. That's the last gift you get, right, or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one. And you could choose to get them too. I wonder what happens if you
That's
choose
the
not to
thing I'm
get them.
trying to figure out. Is like, do I like rejecting like the gifts and whatnot? I don't know, man. Like, I think they
Well,
did
I
it.
went back and I looked at like all the endings,
Mm-hmm.
and the endings weren't that different.
Mm-hmm.
Like it still had the same last boss. Like these games have different last bosses depending on how you play the game too.
Yeah.
Like in Fallout New Vegas, depending on who you like chose throughout the game, would change the way the last battle progressed.
Yeah.
Like in the Outer Worlds,
Oh, I remember
if you
this. Yeah.
actually if you actually did everything you were supposed to, when you did that final battle, all the factions from all the
Yeah.
worlds was in the final battle
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And they
remember that.
would be like, because you'd be in like these unwinnable situations, and then you just see these ships start connecting to the final battleship,
Yeah.
and they're just coming out of every crevice of the ship helping you.
Yeah. I feel like
And like for instance, you could in in that game, you could have an intellect of 1, and you could have stupid choices in the Outer Worlds where you like that's literally the only dialogue you had. But it felt like that's what I'm talking about dialogue. It felt like the dialogue was only for one story, that they gave you the illusion that
Yeah.
you can have multiple.
Yeah.
And the one story was good, but I don't give me options if you don't give me the ability to switch up the way the game is played.
I mean, I get it. I think I'm blinded by, I think, the fun factor. I just had too much fun with the game, and I thought it was.
No, it's fun. It's fun. But this is, I don't want to say the word nitpick, because I feel like my issues with the game's more than nitpicking.
Mhm.
But, even though I didn't like it to the degree you liked it, I still enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
I beat it twice.
Yeah.
I'm still glad it's finding success, because I still feel that there's a reason. I don't look down on Obsidian whatsoever for this game. I don't think that this hurt the way that they make games. I don't think nothing on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, did you see the Jason Schreier article?
I saw. I mean, he was saying some good things about it. I didn't read it though.
He did an article about the state of Avowed throughout development, and they rebooted it twice. So that is what I blame this on. I don't blame it on Obsidian. I don't blame it on Xbox. I guess you could blame it on Obsidian. I blame it on management switching up, the shift between being bought by Microsoft and how they want to utilize that money that they were getting.
Yep.
That's what I blame it on, because I do think if they had more time, they would have made it better, but they ran out of time. They delayed the game multiple times.
Yeah.
And you got to think, I just got off. This game is better than Velgard, but that's about it. I would say, out of the games that I hold most dear, like Velgard's about it. But I like Velgard. You remember I talked about Velgard?
Yeah.
I thought it was
I was enjoying it too, but I got stuck in the battle. Like the thing is, Velgard there's a lot going on with that game. I'll probably pick it back up. I'll probably pick it back up, because it wasn't anything that I disliked about the game, but I wasn't a battle that I was struggling with. I think it was like an optional freaking dungeon that I'm stuck on.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what it comes down to. It. Like I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that I know you, and if like a genre that you love, people try to tell you how to feel about the genre you love, you'd be wilding the hell out.
I don't think I try to tell you like what you should feel. I just think that I will say, I think that sometimes you
called me an old head. Okay, you said they stopped listening to these old heads, like,
because I felt like
all kinds of stuff.
I felt like they did. Like, the thing is that I think it's the hardcore, or the people that the I don't want to say old head, because you're not. I mean, I think I'm older than you. It's,
how old are you?
I'm 35.
I'm 33, so yeah, you're older.
I think the issue is that it's a lot of that pureness that people want. like people like you, people like Maddie. It's like I don't think there's gonna be games that they can like really cater to you guys because you guys aren't allowing for games just to like evolve or for them to
But
restart the
it's not
process.
about evolving. It's just about respecting the audience that got you where you're at. If you know your audience have a huge emphasis on like decision making, writing with decision making, letting the world evolve with your decisions, and you make a game that you kind of, we're gonna make our own Skyrim. We're gonna make our not necessarily spiritual successor to the Outer Worlds, but we played the Outer Worlds, and it did have those decisions in it. And then you give us Avowed, and you give us the illusion of decisions. The people that put you where you're at are gonna get mad because you made a game that's not for us. Now, some of us might like it, and we still enjoyed playing it, but we do have the right to say that. I said in my video, I said, Avowed's a good game, but Obsidian could do better than this, and that's where I left it.
Fair enough. And I think if my thing is, this is how I look at it, right? Outer Worlds 2 was great. I think it was a game. Was it a Game of the Year nominee?
Yes, the Outer Worlds was a Game of the Year nominee.
Yeah, and it doesn't get
because remember, people try not to give Xbox credit for it because they own them at the time.
Yeah,
and I feel like the Outer Worlds 2 is going to elevate.
Yeah,
I do think that half the nominations list this year at the Game Awards will be Xbox games.
Yeah, I mean that there's definitely a possibility. I think the Outer Worlds 2 will have based off what the first game was, and all they got to do is improve and improve on based off what they have. I think they're in a perfect position. I don't think that game's going to regress. I think it's just going to be I think they will improve on the things, and I think with Avowed, like what Avowed did, they have a good canvas to work from. So if they do the next game, they know like, okay, this is the feedback that we got. All they gotta do is put those deeper systems in it because they have a beautiful world. They have a great set of characters and a awesome gameplay system that they had in place that just made it work. They've done things better than a lot of other developers in terms of like their combat, how everything just felt right. But nah, man, that's all I got. I mean, I think to me, it's I'm not going to talk about like Game of the Years and stuff like that. I already know how that system is played, but it's personally one of my favorite games.
Games are multi-plat now. The system's changed.
Yeah, I mean, how you think South of Midnight is going to fare based off the previews? I think a lot of people I think
it's going to rate decent, but I don't think it's going to sell well at all. Because every time I make a video on that game, it's like triple copper, some of the worst views I've ever seen. It's gotten me to the point where I don't even want to make content on it because it's like, if there's no audience there, or I'm like hammering my algorithm on my channel for something that no one's want to watch. And I enjoy what I see of the game, but I guess just people aren't excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think it's another good game. I know there's comments about the combat. I think people say either you're gonna love it or hate it. People are just hoping to see it evolve, over time. So I'm thinking that game is probably going to land just based off previews. So I feel like it's going to land somewhere in the 70s, which is not bad. I think it's
I hope it's the 80s. I think you'll get the 80s.
You think? Because I think for me,
it's a short game, and I think people are gonna enjoy it for the most part.
Yeah, because I feel like it's gonna be something like I'll know where it's gonna score within like the first couple hours of me playing it. If I find myself liking it a lot, I'm like, yeah, damn, the public ain't gonna be messing with this because for some reason, me and the general public don't like. Whatever's fun for me for video games, the general public can't stand. But I'm looking forward to South of Midnight, and the rest of whatever Xbox got between. I know South of Midnight is the next one. I think Doom is after that. Expedition 33 at the end of April. Atomfall I want to give a try. I know that's next month. So but yeah, man. You got anything you got going on that you want to share before we head out for the evening?
Be on the lookout this week. I'm gonna put out some content I've never done before, so I'm kind of curious how that's gonna do. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. All right. We'll definitely be on the lookout for that for sure. But thank you for spending the night coming through and getting a podcast out the way. I know we say this all the time. We gotta be more consistent, but I take full responsibility on that. But yeah, no. So we'll be back. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something. It's only at the time of this it's only Monday, so something's gonna happen in the community, in the gaming community, that's going to either make people happy or make people upset or make Xbox the talking point, like always. And that's going to prompt another episode of Planet Xbox podcast. But thank you guys for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you send your questions on patreon.com for the next episode. As always, guys, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.